Hello, my name is Niels Pflaeging. Last week, I wrote this article called "Sales Departments Should Never Had Existed." There was phenomenal response. It's already the most popular article on the Red 42 Substack. I think it's being read, it's being processed at this moment because I only published it like 10 days ago. So I would like to talk a little bit about what's behind it and why this is an essential thing. Um, Sales departments should never have existed, of course. I did some research over the last few days. Who else has ever written about this, and I couldn't find anything. Apparently, nobody has ever suggested to abolish and eliminate sales departments for good, which is a funny thing, right? This is also what drove me to write the article because I had the feeling when I wrote these things about decentralization, like the laws of the Beta Codex. Booklet and of course the Organized for Complexity book, which has been a bestseller and sold more than 50,000 copies, I suppose, in German, English, and all the other languages together. So people should have grasped this message from me a long time ago, but certainly didn't. Even all my clients are always surprised when I say, and of course, you will get rid of your sales department. You are aware of that, right? That with decentralization and sales structure, there will be no sales department anymore. But I noticed a couple of days ago that I'd never actually written about this, in Focus and put it into writing in a decent way. So that's what I did with this article. But what does it mean? It basically means that separating sales artificially as a function, to put it, to turn it a structure, is a flawed idea. Regardless if you call it sales department, sales area, business unit, which it never is. Sales is not a business unit. It's a chunk or a slice of a business unit or a possible business unit, but actually, separating sales from all the stuff or trying to faking to that you can slice off selling from the rest of everything is a ridiculous idea. That's what I try to cover in the article. And it means, of course, that if you want to overcome sales and all the abominations that come with it, like sales targets, steering, all the disdain for salespeople that comes along with creating sales targets and sales departments in the first place. Once you try to overcome it, you get to an understanding that okay, so all our teams in the periphery, they must be something like business units who also do the selling, but who will likely also do servicing, who might do product development, who will likely do shipping and logistics if you are in a product business. In a product business, periphery teams might even do production or at least part of manufacturing. So once you get to this idea that sales, so that's why I think this article matters. Sales department should never have existed. This insight matters so much because it is the solution to overcoming this ridiculous functional division that we have been accustomed to, and that has been optimized and optimized and optimized again. We have optimized the wrong thing for decades. All the matrix structure thing, all the Spotify model stuff still leaves that kind of functional division in place. Lets you that keeps you with departments like sales or purchasing or HR, right? And to overcome this functional division, it is essential, I think, to grasp the idea that sales departments should never have existed, purchasing departments should never have existed, HR departments should never have existed. This understanding is key to understanding how functional integration will work, how decentralization to teams in the periphery that do all these things, not HR administration, probably, but not all of product development usually, but who do pretty much all the rest. From, let's say, position in the company and doing marketing, which shouldn't be a separate function or department either, to invoicing and post sales stuff, the servicing and everything, down to the invoice, and also to getting paid. So yes, this is an essential idea. I sometimes wonder why nobody has advocated this idea before, apparently. But also the solution is obvious, right? The answer to this question. Why is nobody talking about the necessary elimination of sales departments? And I think the answer is obvious. We have become accustomed to, fooling ourselves into believing that everything we do is transformational, regardless of how ridiculous, small, and incremental it is. We have become accustomed to thought leaders preaching us the obvious and not the non-obvious. We have become accustomed to, the gurus and the consultants suggesting very, very slicing and dicing incremental solutions, and optimizing everything instead of overcoming the system. And this is what I'm suggesting to you. If you have a sales department, you must overcome the system. There's no way around it. Sales departments, your sales department, if you have such a thing, it doesn't work, or they do not work if you have several of them. Sales never worked as a standalone function. It cannot work because it's like the arm doesn't work by itself. You cannot separate certain things from the body, and keep them alive. It's the same with organizing. You cannot disintegrate marketing without your marketing communication and brand, and suffering any harm. And you cannot separate the selling piece, which is in fact everything. It's often relation. It's usually a lot of relationship building that goes on, except for consumer business, maybe, right? But if you're in B2B, relationship building is everything. And how can you leave that to a sales function? It's a perverse idea in the first place. So yes, sales as a function was never a good idea. We should even question, of course, the legitimacy of the selling idea. Yeah. What if only buying exists? And I'm convinced that only buying exists. Sales is just an artifice, a figment of our imagination. We want to understand, of course, what a company does with the buyer as a process, and we have come to call that selling. But is it really, or isn't it helping to, a longer word, right? Helping the client or customer or buyer to buy. That's it. And how do we help him? How do we support her, the client, in the buying, in the process of buying? And over the last couple of years, Sergey and I, we have helped several clients overcoming the sales functions and eliminating them. So for us, it's a natural process, but I see it still isn't in the public mind. So here's the thing: if you haven't read the article, sales should never have existed. You should read it. If you have read it, read it again, or if you read it and you liked it, made you think and it made you get to the inside. Tell us about it. Maybe get in touch and we help you overcome sales as a standalone function. Thank you for listening. See you again very soon here on the Work the System channel.